Okay, hello, welcome back to Heroes Hour, where we're going to be doing a new map playthrough as the Colony Alliance, which is an ant-based faction, and we're going to be going up against our two arch rivals, the Honey Heart Assembly, which is a wasp/bee-based faction, and the Union of Chrysalis, which is a butterfly/moth themed faction. If none of these sound like part of the base game, you would be correct. These are all modded factions, all designed by the same individual, AnthonyRose. And it's actually pretty impressive how deep these are. So if we jump into the lexicon, we can see that they all have actually multiple paragraphs of lore. So here's Colony, which is the ant faction we're going to be playing as. We can see that each of these factions has its own unique skills. So this one has two skills. This one is Colony Call, which calls in wild ants during battle. And there's also Pheromones, which is pretty similar, but it's more spell-based. You can be a bit more selective about when you use it. Then if we scroll down, we can see we do have unique buildings too, the Library of Evolution, the Worker Spire, and the Larvae Chambers. And we do of course have our own unique lineup of various different types of ants, including ants that are archers, warrior ants, mages, all sorts. Very interesting, and kind of a similar story with Honey, or the Honey Heart Assembly. Again, multiple paragraphs of lore, unique heroes with their own unique abilities, and their own unique buildings as well. Likewise, they have their own types of units. They have stingerlings, basic kind of bee units, and then as you progress through, you can see you get towards more kind of hive-based and hornet-based units, queen wasps, queen bees, and so on. And then we have Chrysalis, which is perhaps my favorite of the three, just because it's actually quite an interesting concept. It's a faction made up of moon-worshipping moths and sun-worshipping butterflies. Again, they each have their own unique abilities. So the moths have extra health and extra damage per rank, and then Sun Charm for the butterflies gives them better spell casting and increases the damage done by their units. They also have their own unique buildings, the Eclipse Shrine and the Star Shrine, and again, their own unique lineup of creatures. We can only play as one, of course, and I have decided we are going to go ahead and play as Colony. Before we jump into the map, just to mention, this is a sponsored video. The publisher of Heroes Hour has recently partnered with CurseForge, which is another place you can pick up your mods. In my case, I picked up Colony and also Honey from CurseForge, and I downloaded Chrysalis from the Steam Workshop. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go with the map Feud of 3, and we're going to select our faction, so we can see that our modded factions are added in just beneath all the rest. We can see they've each got their own nice little icon. I'm going to go with Colony, of course, and given these choices, let's have a closer look at this. So Colony Call means that we can bring in ants over time. If they get a killing blow on an enemy, they will join our army permanently. Similar thing here, if we go for Pheromones instead with the Ant Scholars instead of the Ant Monarchs, gives us the Pheromone Blast spell, which inflicts pheromones on enemies. Wild ants will appear and try to kill the affected units, and similarly, if they are successful and they make the killing blow, they will join our army permanently. Out of these choices, I think we're going to go for Nisra, because Nisra comes with Mastery by default, which gives her fire ants over time. Nice kind of passive ability, we keep getting stronger over time. And as we progress, she does actually have some other good, useful skills as well. So Pyromancy kind of doubles down on that fire-based theme. And as we continue to progress through, we can get Learning as well, really good skill. And also Swarming, which is a nice skill, duplicates our weaker creatures, but a little bit harder to get to than it is with Exeria, for example, but I think Nisra overall has the more interesting abilities, so we're going to go with her. Then if we go back, we're going to select our rivals, of course, as the Honey faction, and finally, Chrysalis. Enemy heroes we are going to leave to be randomly generated, and let's just jump in and see what we get. So we can see here is our starting zone and our little ant hero. We can see our town is very much an anthill surrounded by some kind of palisade. Okay, let's jump in and let's see our options. So the Leaf Outpost allows us to recruit either fire ants or leafcutter ants. The Swarming Grounds allows us to create army ants, which we do already start off with as a basic thing. And then the Larvae Chamber creates 2 ant larvae per day. And if the town is attacked, it will add 50 ant larvae to the defense. This is one of the unique buildings of the town. However, because it is turn 1, we do have our hero already in our town. I think we want to go straight for the Leaf Outpost. And this is kind of interesting. The Leafcutter Ant starts as a pretty basic unit with knockback and wide attacks, but as we upgrade this, they can actually turn into ranged creatures instead. Fire Ant Also very basic. Slightly better combat stats. Slightly lower growth. But they do have the burning ability, and they do also upgrade, although not into range units, they just become stronger melee units. I think we're going to go all out with the Fire Ant theme here. So we're going to pick up these, we're going to buy as many as we can, and then we've already built in our town, and we're good just to take a step out and see what's around. So this is an ant-based opponent. We can see there's 20 to 40 larvae and 1 to 5. Not actually sure what type of ants those are. There are quite a few different ant-based units that have been added in, and it's actually surprising how naturally they fit into the game. They don't actually feel that out of place, perhaps because they do have bows and arrows and things. Okay, so first turn is over, not really too much else we can do. Let's end the turn there. Not expecting to see too much. We can see we've got a green opponent and an indigo opponent, the two rival factions. We go to the Learning Stone, and we do instantly make it to level 2. So the choices here, if we go for Mastery level 2, that's going to increase the rate of Fire Ant production. They should just come to us naturally over time. So in this case, each rank we get of Mastery is going to increase the amount of Fire Ant we gain at a rate of 5.68 per week. So we're currently on 5.68 just for the basic rank. If we go for that again, we're getting over 10 per week, which is, of course, over 1 per day. That seems like a pretty good thing to get as early as possible. I think we will go for that. Also, it does make them 5% tougher in terms of their health and 5% stronger in damage as well. So it seems like a pretty interesting choice. Should get better and better over time. Fountain of Magic allows us to summon permanent elementals for the cost of mana. We don't currently have any spells, so I would be tempted. 4 mana for 5 Cyclones, I think we say yes. Ah no, it's 1 each, okay. I'm just going to spend all our mana on this is fine. We do need a bit of strength. And then we'll move to the west towards the camp, go back to the town, and let's have a look at our options. So the Silk Honey Library allows us to produce different types of ants. So there's Honeypot Ant, which is a ranged creature, and Weaver Ant, which is also a ranged creature, slightly different. These ones do damage through venom. These ones do damage through exploding once they're killed. If we go ahead and build this, which we do have plenty of resources for, so the actual casting they do is a little bit different. If we have a look at the Weaver Ant, the casting ability is more kind of offensive. It's Magic Arrow, Lightning Bolt, Energy Blast, stuff like that. If we go for the Honeypot Ant instead, they have a bit more health. They do slightly more damage. But the main difference is they're kind of more support based. So Stone Skin, Bless, Fire Shield. Once they're killed, they explode, damage nearby enemies, knock friends away. Don't actually think we need that because Fire Shield... We're hoping the Fire Ants set all of our enemies on fire anyway. So we're actually going to go for the Weaver Ant. Just going to go as offensive as possible. Could pick those up. They do actually cost us wood, which is not ideal. I think we hold back on recruiting those for now. And I think we just end the turn there. Okay, so where to go next? So the gold mine is actually completely open to take. So we have 11 mercury, that should be enough for now. I think we go for the gold. Go for the gold mine too, move up, grab the crystal, and we can see in order to break through this, we have to take on 40 to 60 of those, I'm not sure what they're called, rogues, I guess? We'll go for the sulfur. We've also got the black market here, which allows us to purchase magic-oriented artifacts. We can see some honey-based opponents just there with also 60 to 100 halberdiers, which is a little bit random. Okay, let's go back down towards this camp. We still have plenty to spend in our town. I think we will go for the infirmary, because once we've done that, we will be able to recover half of our dead units once they get killed in battle. And that pretty much is the starting point from which we can start taking battles without taking too many horrible losses. This is now considered an easy fight. This, however, is impossible. If we look at the other options, there's an easy fight to the south as well. A few ant-based opponents. Okay, pretty simple turn once again, just going to end it there. And I think we start moving south, although before we do... Where do we get wood? Sawmill just there, unowned. Presumably not going to be too tough to take that stuff on. Let's go to the campfire, which does give us a bit of extra movement. Go back to Revmound, which is our town. And we should probably get something slightly stronger in terms of unit production. So Earthforge produces the big-headed ant, but we need to get the larvae chambers first, so I think we go for Guild of Mages instead. We have, of course, used all of our mana to recruit these cyclones, but that's fine. It should come back over time, and we can still, of course, pick up the spells. Then we're going to pick up our ranged units. That uses up most of our wood, but if we move straight towards the south, we should be able to get that sawmill pretty soon. And yeah, let's go for our first fight. It's going to be ants versus ants. I will actually control this one because I don't want to take unnecessary losses. So the tough thing there is the winter ants. This particular hero is a ranged base hero, but because we can't lose her just from being damaged in battle, still going to put her out in the front. Other options, I think the weaver ants need to come forward a bit. And I guess, not really too worried if we lose cyclones, that should be fine. The 29 of our basic, what are they even called? The army ants. I think we just mix into the middle there. Let's kick this off. So the larvae should be pretty simple to take on, not expecting them to deal too much damage. Our hero is trying to move back. We can see that our spellcaster's at the back, casting some offensive spells towards the larvae. And so far, no losses. Seems promising. Let's speed this up. Hope for 0 losses. We're pretty close. So yeah, larvae not particularly good. I don't know if having 50 larvae defenders is going to make much of a difference at all. But the building does still allow us to produce larvae each day, so it's not too bad. Okay, so we've got a roaming neutral, but they are not going to attack us unless we attack them, so we can just pass straight through. This is still also an easy fight. This gives us extra wood, which we definitely need. In this case, I think we can be pretty defensive. These are all... yeah, they're all melee opponents. So let's stay defensive. And let's kick this off. So hero doesn't really want to get too involved, but they're going to be the first one to be attacked. Then, once they reach us, we could go for Pheromone Blast, which will bring in some more ants. If those ants get a kill, we do of course get to keep those ants permanently, but I'm not sure if we care that much about that. Summon Monokero. Again, there's no need to spend much mana here. We do still have 19 mana, which is not bad. So, one thing I do want to check out with Pheromone Blast is if we do go for that, do we then get to use it again? Is it limited purely by mana, or is it something we can only use once per day? Let's have a look. So we've summoned what should be a couple of ants. I can't really see them too much. Let's move to aggressive mode, make sure that we're not taking too many losses. We are taking a few losses to the fire ants already. So we can see this is recharging, and it looks like it is mana based. We need one of the summoned ants to actually get a kill, which it looks like we have succeeded, so we've got to put ourselves a new bullet ant. Still, those losses were a little bit heavier than I would have liked. Okay, so options here. I think we want to move towards learning as quick as possible. That gives us extra experience per rank. And pyromancy, we're already kind of a fire-based ant, so that's kind of a natural fit. Let's go for that. Grab the sawmill, grab as much wood as we can, go towards the gold, and we'll start moving to the south. So this is an impossible fight. Again, it's more ants for us to take on. If we go to the east instead, just some basic goblins there we can easily beat. Go back towards our town, and let's have a look at our options. So larvae chambers, 2 larvae per day, it's better than nothing. It's something that passively gets better over time. Tavern could also be pretty good just for the sake of getting a second hero, getting things moving. So let's go for Sori, who's a level 1 ant monarch. Doesn't actually come with any ants, only cyclones. But we've got ourselves a couple of fire ants. I guess the fire ants don't join us. I was mistaken about that. So they recruit for our army over time. It doesn't say that they go back to the town, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Still, we should be producing larvae over time. We've got a couple of extra units here if we want them. It's a dead end to the north. Perhaps we don't actually need this hero, to be honest. I think we go to the east because we could still get a useful passive ability. So our options, these are all pretty much combat based. Yeah, these don't make too much difference to us, I guess. We'll go for this. It's a useful passive ability, although it's only passive in battle. We'll move towards the wood. And we'll end the turn there. Okay, so the neutral hero has moved right into where we wanted to go. We could just take that on, and we'd probably win. But it might also be possible to avoid. On the other hand, if we just go straight for this instead, we can get ourselves some artifacts. Easy fight there as well. No form of serious risk. So this is sorcerers, who are ranged creatures, and army warriors, who are much more kind of sturdy, typical melee-based units. Not really something we want to take on. Okay, so the thing is, we want to rush towards the sorcerers. For that, I think we want the bullet ants out in front. Bullet ants do have the charge ability by default. Let's kick this off. And I think we will actually go for this. Summon ourselves a few bullet ants. So we can see they actually spawn down there. Don't actually spawn where I thought they would. But hopefully just our sheer numbers here should be able to allow us to overwhelm them. The bullet ants not really moving. I guess they've been affected by something, but that's kind of a shame because it does mean they now won't join us unless they can get a kill. So yeah, unfortunately they're not going to join us permanently, but never mind. Don't really... Actually they did. One of the bullet ants did get a kill. So we actually got stronger for that, plus a bit of extra experience. We do level up. So in order to go for learning, we need to go for level 5. Okay. So that's just going to take some time. So blood warping allows us to transform creatures into elite creatures. Mysticism teaches us a new spell, increases the effectiveness of all spells. That's very tempting just because we are, of course, a spell-based hero. Although if we look at pheromones instead, so the number of ants will increase with skill level. The more ants we produce, the more likely they are to get kills, and the more likely we are to be able to keep them. So I think pheromones, let's really double down on what this faction does that's unique. Go for the obelisk and go for the gold. This is a moderate fight which should free up a few more units. Hostages, I can't tell exactly what those are. I think they're leaf cutters. I think they're the advanced form of leaf cutters, the range type. We're probably not quite strong enough to take that on. I think instead, let's go for the goblins. We know we can win that. We have the option of skipping to the outcome if we want to. I think we will control this. So 37 of those, we do want to rush towards them. Put our hero out in front. Kick this off. And I think we should go for Pheromone Burst because we should be pretty likely to get a few kills here. So we can see they rush in, do quite a lot of damage. We have already gained them both to our side. We just need them to survive the fight, and we do get to keep both of them. Still a little bit disappointed we only summoned 2, considering we just leveled that up. But the good thing is, by controlling it manually, we do get to cast that spell, we do get to keep the units permanently, and we can start moving towards this gold. We don't have to take this on yet, although it is considered easy. So perhaps we should. Okay, let's grab the wood, and let's grab some of these clues as well. Go back to the town. So the champion statue will improve our tavern, give us an extra 100 gold per day. It's not really great. The larvae chambers requires a little bit more sulfur. Library of Evolution is another of the unique buildings. This allows us to morph basic ants into advanced centaurs. Not sure exactly what that means, but morphing can be done for free. Takes a few days to morph a full stack of ants. Time depends on the tier. Also unlocks upgrading ants via the unit creation portal for a premium gold cost. Could be good, but I don't think it's urgent. I think... well, we don't have too many options, so champion statue takes 16 turns to pay itself off. But I'm still tempted. Just because, well, Center of Colony is going to give us more gold much more quickly. We do need the marketplace for that, but that's fine. Let's just do it. Okay, so options now that we've upgraded to Township. Center of Kismet, +1 luck to all current and future heroes. Industrial Smithy makes the first aid tent and ballista free at the engineer. We don't have one of those. And Grand Bazaar for improved exchange rate. We do have the marketplace, of course, but this feels better to me. Let's go for Center of Kismet. And let's skip out of this. End the turn there. And that hero does run off. Okay, let's go for the gold. So, gold rimmed cape. Let's have a look what this does. So it gives us +1 oligarchy skill, which vastly increases the strength of units, but decreases army reserve limit. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but on the whole, should be better than nothing. We're going to go for the sulfur, and we're going to go back to the town. Do have the option now of going for larvae chambers, however, we should probably produce something that's going to give us extra units, since it is day 7, about to reach a new week. So the fort greatly increases the weekly number of units from a chosen dwelling in our town, improves the defense of the town, and creates units to defend the town when attacked. It's expensive, but on the last day of the week, I think that's the best thing we can do. If we go for the Worker Spire instead, it allows colony heroes to create colonies while being camped. Colonies gain ants and ant larvae each day the hero camps there, and stays behind when the hero leaves. I'm not sure that's that good. I mean, it's very cheap to do, but essentially we're producing extra units, which then we can't take with us, if my understanding is correct. So that doesn't seem that good. I think on day 7 we have to go for the fort, and we're going to go for... We're already getting a lot of fire ants for free. Army ants, they're pretty basic. I think we do of course go for weaver ants. Produce those extra range units. And town should be fine for now. We're going to go back to this hero. Do we take this hero on roaming neutral? Says it's easy. Or do we go to the east instead? We probably do want to take on the easy fight first. Let's go for it. Should get some rewards for this. In terms of actual creatures, it's 51 grells. What are grells? So, when the hero controlling these units casts a spell costing mana, every 5 of these units can refund 1 mana point per battle. Okay, so it's effectively just a spellcaster who gets really good spellcasting with support from the grells. Although the grells, the stats are okay for basic units. But yeah, essentially we want to take these on as quickly as possible. They've actually spawned in our zone because of their astral ability, so they can be placed on either side of the battlefield. I'm not sure that's to their advantage because we are just going to surround them. Like so. Okay, let's kick this off. Okay, so they spawn in the middle of us. What else could we do? We could go for Pheromone Blast. If we can get a few extra kills, we can of course keep those units. If we go for Salt Blast instead, that damages our units. Friendly Fire, we don't really want that. Chaos affects enemy units, scatters them around, and makes them confused. I think I'd rather go for Pheromone Burst, just to try and keep some permanent units. So they're going to rush in from the sidelines. Okay, so the enemy goes for Salt Blast, doesn't manage to get a kill on us. I think did way more damage to their own units than they did to ours. We've only taken 1 loss. Yeah, that wasn't very smart from the AI, but we'll take it. Okay, so learning is best taken as soon as possible. 25% extra experience. Sooner we do that, the better. There are some other useful things we can do, but yeah, I think learning is the one that pays off the soonest. Grab ourselves some artifacts, so pretty basic weapons, nothing special. Lots of extra resources. And then we can move pretty safely to the east. This hero goes for this, and there should be some other clues lying around as well. So there's some just there, but we have to take a fight to get those, so that doesn't really work. More up to the north, okay. So we do have some units we could pass across, but I think it's more useful that we prioritize getting the obelisk. Okay, so it's becoming slightly clearer, but we have to give it at least 1 more turn. Okay, let's end the turn there. We should have a lot of unit production. Gold production is perhaps not quite keeping up. This week's effect, Goblin Gorilla interrupt neutral battles. Okay, not sure if that's good or bad. It could be good if we can get some extra kills with our summoned units. Okay, going into this, it's day 1 of the week. We, I think, do want to just get as much gold income as soon as possible, so going to go for Center of Colony, perhaps larvae chambers next, start getting the larvae in for free. Very basic units, but better than nothing. Go for the obelisk. This reveals... we can kind of tell where it is. So it's northwest of the town. I guess around here. So it's just southeast of a tree. It must be this. We'll move towards it. Okay, this hero next. This is still considered a moderate fight, but there's not really too much else for us to go for. This is an easy fight, which leads to Temple of Ordering. Allows us to make magical constructs with mana, gold, and mercury. We're not exactly awash with that stuff, so I'm not going to go for that. This fight I'm hoping will be more profitable than not. Hard to be sure. We do have a few spell points left. But I think we're going to have to use everything in this fight. Okay, so we kick off. I think we do go for Pheromone Burst. That leaves us with 5 mana left, which is enough for 1 Salt Blast or for Chaos. So I think we start with Pheromone Burst. Get the back up as soon as we can. Thunderers. We do actually spawn next to them, which is really useful. And then I think we will go for Chaos as soon as we can. I'm expecting to take quite a few losses here. There's some pretty tough units, so Weave Rank goes for Magic Arrow. Some big mass damage spells. We have managed to get a kill, so we keep an extra Bullet Ant. Then let's go for Chaos. Let's go for it on the melee units, scatter them around. And then we can focus down the range units. Taking a few losses to the Fire Ants, but we do get a Bullet Ant back. We've taken a loss to an Army Ant as well. Army Ants are actually weaker, but because they're slower they don't tend to take as many losses because they don't get involved. Okay, so 3,500 XP, a few losses, nothing too bad. Definitely worthwhile overall. Okay, so Pheromones would be good. I think we do want the effectiveness of all spells increased. What we really want is better mana generation. We can also go for even more Mastery, for even more Fire Ants. Offense increases the attack speed of units, and less damage increase as they lose health. That could be pretty good. Blood Warping is a really nice passive ability as well. Tends to be quite interesting, so I think we go for that for now. Grab the extra hostages. So we do get, 7-leaf Windcutters. So these are the advanced versions of the Windcutter Ants. Pretty good range units. Let's have a look at this. So this is +2 attack. Yeah, Platinum Axe is better in every way. Okay, so this fight is considered easy. We should probably do it just because it's kind of productive. It does give us a little bit of extra gold. Let's move towards it. So in this case, we've got, again, range units there, and exploding units there. That could be dangerous. Move these guys towards the bottom, range units in the back. Just gotta go for it. So the Earth Elemental is not going to do too much damage to us. Fire Elementals, some of them chasing down our hero. We do have enough for 1 Pheromone Burst. Let's go for it against these two. Hopefully keep ourselves a Bullet Ant, although this guy is refusing to get involved for some reason. There we go. Finally does step in. Bullet Ant up there does get a kill, so we should be able to keep them, although it doesn't look like we could. We can see the neutral goblins are getting involved. If we can just get these guys to actually come in and grab a kill. Doesn't quite work. We take quite a few losses, nothing gained. Okay, we do at least level up, so Demonology allows us to sacrifice some of the experience gained to summon demonic reinforcements. I'm not sure I care that much about that. Champion makes elite units stronger. We don't really have too many of those. Pheromones is really good, but we need to make sure our mana generation is stacking up. Mastery, nice passive ability. Offense does lead to swarming. I think we do go for that. Move towards this, and we do have the option, if we want to, of recruiting an extra hero. Let's have a look who's available in the tavern. So, this guy is Celia. An Ant Monarch, comes with a few Fire Ants, a few Cyclones. I don't think we bother. Not really enough space for him to do anything useful. Okay, so this hero first, where was it? It was... This is even more confusing, but I feel like... It's probably here. There we go. Found the treasure. Let's see what we've got. So we've got the Widal Guard. +10 spell power. Let's go for that. Let's go for extra sulfur. Seem to need that a bit more. Extra crystal just there. Crown of the Widal is +1 swarming skill. That seems like it could be pretty good. Go for the crystal. 2 Children of Midas or 1,000 experience. We're going to go for the Children of Midas. We can pass those across, and that is all of that stuff gathered. Go towards this next, and let's have a look. So if we spend Mercury, Mana, or Gold, we can pick up some extra units. So 20 Nagas, or in fact, 20 Nagas available, but I guess... Surely they don't cost 1,500 each. Oh, I have to use all of this stuff. So Yeah, I've got to use up all 20 mana. How much does she have? She has 20 mana. So I think, obviously, she should move over in this direction. She could then pick them up using her mana. That spares our mana for the main. But what should he do? So if we go to the west, we can take on the Alchemy Lab. This stuff we're not strong enough to take on, but it leads to a portal which takes us across to this part of the map with another hard fight. If we were to go for this instead, this is still challenging. So I think for now, we do still go west. Go back to the town, keep building this up. So let's go for the larvae chambers because they do stay useful, they do stay producing units over time. End the turn there. And let's just go straight west, although should have maybe tried to bring this hero over first. She can actually go back, pick up some reinforcements. Then this guy goes straight to the west, moderate level fight. It's not super urgent we do it this turn. If we move across, we still have a few movement points left. Can she reach next turn? She can get pretty close. We just take a couple of steps back, go into the town. You can see we have produced 3 extra fire ants as well as 2 ant larvae, and we can also potentially produce, well, first aid tent and ballista for a visitor. That doesn't apply to this particular hero. I can go for the Earth Forge for big-headed ants. Big-headed ants are tanks, 142 health. They don't deal much damage, but that's fine. I think we build that. We can definitely afford it. Then we go for, well, this does actually cost us a lot of wood. I think we buy as many as we can. We could also do some trading. So how much would this cost us? So to buy one of these, it costs us 200 gold. How many do we need? So we need 4 in total, so it would effectively double the cost of the remaining ants. I think we just do it. So let's buy just the 4. Then let's go back, pick all of these up. I think we do want the big-headed ants because they're pretty difficult to kill off. Does cost us ore, but we do have enough of that. Then we go fire ants. Then we go for these, and we do still have a small amount of gold, so that's good. Move all of this stuff across. We should now be able to make a much stronger force. Let's see exactly how good. Do we take this on the way? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so let's go to the southwest. Pass across these artifacts. It's the other way around, isn't it? So plus 10 spell power, that's really good. Part of Weidel's set. Bonus with 3 pieces. Casting earth spells in combat. Enemy unit gets turned to gold. Gain mana for picking up gold powers. Would be nice if we could actually use that, but only got 2 of the 3 pieces. Let's see what Swarming skill does. Yeah, so Swarming is the skill we're already working towards. So we can actually just build that up a bit sooner than expected. Helps us prevent losses. Okay, so going back to this, we should probably continue to get extra gold if possible. So this gives us 250 gold per day. Still need 3 more wood. Pretty much everything costs wood. Might have to go for champion statue. Because we do want to keep building. This, yeah, it does take 16 turns to pay for itself, but I think it's got to be done. And then this fight at the portal is still challenging. Perhaps because we didn't take the units. That's a pretty basic thing we should do. Okay, so we now have a pretty strong force. Yeah, this is now easy. This must be pretty trivial. Do we skip to the outcome? I think we just say yes. Take a few losses, including losing a Weaver Ant and losing a Leaf Windcutter. That's not really worth it, but never mind. Let's grab the lab, and this is now a moderate fight. I think we still go for it. Hopefully we have just enough in terms of our mana. So, Glacier Eating Ant freezes us, slows us down, and they do wide attacks as well. We've got some jumper ants there. Okay, so I think we need our tankier units. So let's move these back. Put these guys out in front. These in the back. Okay, so we definitely want these involved. Child of Midas have useful passive abilities. Okay. That, I think, should be good enough. So yeah, Glacier Eating Ant, 10 to 16 damage. These guys, 8 to 14, but they have Venom. So the Glacier Eaters, they don't kill us with Venom. So I think we want our tougher units to take on the Venom. These guys up towards the top. These support from range. Well, let's see how this goes. I think we do need to cast. So let's go for Pheromone Burst. Send them in against these. So we can see we've got lots of these little mage ants. They are casting some spells, so they went for Lightning Bolt. Hopefully grabbed a few kills. Not really taking too many losses. Have gained a Bullet Ant, but also lost one. But actually, losses there, not too bad. And we do level up. So 200 gold from the battle, that comes from the Child of Midas, though we have lost one. 7,000 XP, and we can go all the way through to Bloodlust if we want to. So Bloodlust gives us a Bloodlust buff whenever an allied unit dies during combat. Whenever a creature in the hero's army dies, the attack and speed of all allied creatures within a distance of 48 is increased. So Mysticism, I think we're just not getting enough mana to justify that. Maybe Bloodlust could be good. Ensures if we take too many losses we should keep getting stronger. Quite useful, the kind of insurance. If we were to go through this has actually been opened up, so there must be an opponent on the other side. We've just got stronger on this very turn, so I think this is a good time to go aggressive. There is some stuff lying around. I'm not sure what to make of that, just gonna end the turn. I'm assuming there's someone here. Let's see. Let's say there's a roaming neutral. Belongs to the Honey faction. Grab the gold. Grab the crystal. And there's an easy fight to the south, which gives us the ultimate shrine. Gives us an ultimate spell. Since it's an easy fight, I guess we just go for it. Okay, so Honey Mages, this is our first fight against the Honey faction. See, they've got a little wizard bees. Bumble Engineer, ranged creature as well. Wasp Sentry, also ranged, so they're all ranged creatures. We just want to rush these. Send out the Bullet Ants. Basically, we don't want slow units. So, put all the slow things back. Send these out. Put these back. Are these slow? I assume they are. Yep, just gonna put all of those back. Send out from reserves. Okay, so Bullet Ants do rush forward. That's gonna be really useful. Fire Ants, they're not too slow. Weaver Ants. Good amount of hit points. Strong in general. Should be fine, let's kick this off. So we can see there are quite a few of them. I think if we go for Pheromone Burst, we have really good odds of getting some kills here. So let's make sure these all rush in, which most of them do. Looks like they are spawning in some more. Do we go for something else as well? We could go for Chaos, but I'm not sure that actually helps us. They are ranged units, so we want to actually close the gap. We don't want to spread them around. Go for some spells. Not taking too many losses yet. We have lost 2 Jumper Ants, but we've gained 4 more. Are these the Jumper Ants? Didn't realize we had Jumper Ants and Bullet Ants. That's something I didn't really pay too much attention to before. So we lost 4, we gained 4. This is definitely a win, so let's speed this up. We do take a few losses across the board, but nothing too bad. 7,000 XP for that, and we do level up once again. Okay, so this time round, I'm tempted by Mastery just to ensure we keep getting the Fire Ants in, but we might not really need that. Pheromones. We are using it at least once a day. And it is our unique ability, so let's just go for it. Grab the ultimate spell, which we get Mind Control. Go for this. Let's go for the gold. We have quite a lot of mercury. Go for the Lost Hero. 2,500 experience. Let's take it. And it looks like if someone has been here, they didn't do too much. I'm sure there were guards before that then left. I'm not quite sure what happened. Okay, so in the town, we're not able to build anything at all because we need at least one more wood. I think we trade for that. Okay, that gives us the option of the architect. Let's just go for it. That's a bit of extra gold income. And then if we go for this, we need 6 wood. Mimicking center allows creation of other ant species at the cost of gold. A specific number can be created each week, replenished at the start of the week. Okay, that seems pretty good. Palace of Colony could be good as well, just for the extra income, but we're doing okay for gold for now. Go back to this hero, let's just jump through. This is a roaming neutral, so shouldn't actually attack us. Let's grab the resources. End the turn there. Still no sign of our opponents. Don't really want to take this fight, or this one. Okay, so the Trog Hovels, if we defeat the Troglodyte defenders, we claim their hidden resources, and we spawn Trogzerkers each week to fight for our cause. That's an easy fight, I think we go for it. Grab the wood first. Okay, so with that wood, we should now have enough. Go for the training chambers. Then we can produce bullet ants or trapjaw ants. So we already have a few bullet ants. Trapjaw ants have much lower growth, 2 instead of 3. It's nearly the end of the week, but not quite. But I think both Mimicking Center and Training Chambers we do want before next week. So let's just go for it. So the bullet ants we already know about, they're ethereal, so they are able to avoid damage from some incoming attacks. These guys, on the other hand, quick strikes and rage. When they take damage, damage and speed increases, so similar to the ability we already have. Quick strikes, so we attack more often. Quite a good amount of damage. They have way more health than bullet ants. I think these are so much better in terms of stats that it's safe to go for those. We do have to spend crystal to buy them, but that's fine. Let's do it. Could, if we want to, pick up an extra hero from the tavern. We have 2 options. These are both, I imagine, reasonably okay. But our gold supply's not quite that good. Let's see what happens after this. So we go for this, we can see watchers on the walls, Trogzerkers, and 1 tunnel rider there. Looks pretty tough. Monster Trogs. Okay, big-headed ants should be able to take some hits. Bullet ants, good for rushing forward. Weaver ants in the back. Hero in the back as well. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, so the battle begins. Let's go ahead and go for Pheromone Burst once again. Bring in a few, I think these are, let's have a look. What are they? They're not bullet ants. Most of them just got immediately killed. I'm not sure that made sense. So Mind Control affects enemy units, permanently take control of them, potentially keeping them if they stay alive at the end of combat. Interesting, but probably a bit too expensive. I think we just see how this goes. Could go for Pheromone Blast again. I think the last one was too premature, although we have kept a couple of jumper ants, but they did get killed. Okay, we're losing a few fire ants here. Do we go for chaos? Does that help us? I don't think it helps us that much. I think we just try and hang on. Now that we've broken through the walls, taking a lot of losses to the fire ants, but we do have some units in reserve that will pop up. We see these guys popping up in battle too, which is kind of annoying because it makes it more difficult. No real benefit. So yeah, fair few losses taken, nothing too terrible. We do lose a big-headed ant, most of our fire ants, and some of our weaver ants too. That kind of sucks. 5,000 XP. We can upgrade our cyclones into horrors. I do remember the horrors being very good in one of my previous Heroes Hour videos, so I'm very happy to do that. They're extremely good creatures. What do we go for next? So we did lose a lot of fire ants there. We of course could make good use of things like horrors, but this is supposed to be an ant playthrough, so let's keep going for mastery. Keep bringing in the fire ants, and we're going to get a few extra trogs each week as well. I think we save our movement points, go to the west. This is a brewery which allows us to exchange part of our army for a group of random units. Don't think we bother with that. Okay, I think none of this stuff we need to stick around for. Let's use our movement points to keep moving away. This hero goes for this. Grabs all of these resources. And move up ready to scout as well. Do we pick up the hero from the tavern? I don't think we do. I think we end the turn there. Still no sign of our opponents, which is good. We're going to move to the east. Let's just double check. She doesn't have any units, which she doesn't. There appears to be a glitch here. Not sure if this is related to the mod or not. It's Simple Town, but it has 6 horrors inside it. Town level 0. This appears to be a bug. I imagine we're better off not going for that. I'm going to actually move back rather than take the risk. Because I think the way we reach our opponent is definitely to go through this. I don't want to take a fight with loads of horrors. Especially not when I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, going back to the town. Let's go for the Mimicking Center as planned. This takes us up to city level, so Industrial Smithy. First aid tent and Ballista is free at the Engineer. We are probably going to get one of those. Well of Power gives +2 spell power to all current heroes, but we do already have loads of spell power. Grand Library for extra knowledge. Maybe that's best. Okay, so we go for that. We've got the Mimicking Center. Let's quit out of this. So Mimicking Center, can't really do too much with that just yet, but we can see we're producing lots of units. Well, actually, I see now. So when I was wondering what happened with the fire ants coming back to the town, I imagine that's actually from the infirmary. That makes way more sense. So we must be getting fire ants directly into this army, although not too many. Only got 6 left. But with the help of the horrors, I think we're in a pretty good place. Okay, so a new week begins. We have 6,800 to spend, which I suspect is not really going to be enough for us. This is now a moderate difficulty fight. Gives us a crystal mine, which I guess we should still take the fight. It's not going to be super easy. We could also go to the north, pick up some units. We can see our anthill has now improved. Okay, so unit options. The Archmage Tribunal also is an option. Unlocks 4 spells. I don't think we care too much about that. Any visiting hero gets +1 spell power. I don't think this regenerates our spell points for us. Palace of Colony. Pays for itself in 6 turns. Library of Evolution. Morphing can be done for free, but it takes a few days. That is kind of useful because of the infirmary units. Engineer's Workshop will be useful at some point. We are going to struggle for wood. Okay, any hero gets +1 knowledge for visiting. I'm not sure we go for that either. I think we go for Engineer's Workshop. Because we know we want that. Then we're going to pick up... So ideally we want range units, but these guys cost so much wood. 14 wood to get all of those. So Trapjaw Ant. These guys are really good. And obviously we're about to get a crystal mine. Big-headed ant, very difficult to kill. And we don't actually have that much ore. So I think we're stuck going for fire ants. Let's just do it. Pick up as much as we can. Then if we start moving back, we can hopefully pick up those units. Pass those across. This now becomes an easy fight. So in this fight we've got Sultans, who are melee units, and Arcanists, who are range units. So the main thing we want, I think, is we're going to try and protect the fire ants, and we're going to stick to more elite units. So I think we want these out. Then send out the reserves. These guys towards the front because they can take hits. If we lose an ant larva, we can see they're pretty weak. Mutation ability can mutate into different types of larva, but none of them are going to be that good. Trapjaw ant, we know those are very good. Let's start the battle. And we have 54 mana at this point, so very safe to go for Pheromone Blast. Bring in all of these guys. They will hopefully now join us. Okay, super aggressive. These guys are really slow. They take a lot of damage, but it's fine. Don't take any losses so far. We probably want to go for another Pheromone Blast. Fight could go on for some time. If we go for Chaos instead, does that really help us? Probably not. You can see this guy's running off. Still not taking too many losses. Do we go for Pheromone Blast? It's probably fine to do so. We can see there's a couple of things down here we can kill off. See if we can grab some extra ants. Keep them at the end. Few losses being taken, so we've lost a couple of Weaver ants, which always sucks. Or in fact, we haven't. I think we're gaining and losing bullet ants. But it's a net profit. So let's speed this up. We do lose a few army ants. But yeah, bullet ants gain more than we lose. 6,500 XP, we level up. We can go for even better pheromones. Should we do that? Are we getting carried away? So, blood warping is really good. Mysticism could also be pretty good. Offense, pretty safe option too. I think we keep going for pheromones. It seems to be working so far. Should have claimed that, but never mind. Okay, so we've got the Trogs coming over because it's the start of a new week. Let's just move the caravans. End the turn. Not too much gold to spend. Okay, this hero first. Claim the crystal mine, claim the crystal. This hero moves up, goes to the town. What should we build next? So, Archives of Magic, we can get ourselves one ultimate spell, one minor, one major. Is that worth going for? So, Halls of Culture gives us the L8 Scout. L8 Scout is going to be pretty much our elite unit. What I actually want to do is, I would like to, if possible, get some upgrades for my units, but I'm not sure how to do so. Engineer's Workshop. So Sun Launcher fires a small ball of heated plasma. Wherever it lands, deals a large amount of damage to a nearby high health unit. I think this is what we spend our money on. So, efficient spending suggests we go for these two. Do we trade for more? We don't get great rates. We could sell 5 of these for 500. If we just sell 5 of these, 3 of these, that's probably fine. Then we go back to this, pick this up, grab the extra units, and I think we resist the urge to stick around. We just move out. So magic-oriented artifacts, we don't really have enough gold to make much use of that. We go for this now. This is considered easy, let's just do it. Go back to the town. So we can still build something this turn if we want to. We could go for the Worker's Spire, that is affordable. Colonies gain ants and ant larvae each day that the hero camps. Yeah, again, I'm not sure that really helps us that much. And those resources probably will be useful at some point. Ah, we did say, I forgot about this, we did say we go to this. Temple of Ordering. Let's go towards it. Move caravans. End the turn. Still no sign of our opponents. Both appear to still be alive. Okay, let's go across to this. Let's see what this costs us. So, 24 Nagas. Don't mind spending the mana, that's completely fine. Just check we got all of them. Yeah, 24 Nagas. They're not actually too bad. Pretty happy with that. This should be an easy fight, let's go for it. We'll control the battle because I don't massively trust the auto. Move back all of our non-tanks. Don't really care too much about larvae. If they die, that's fine. Let's send out the reserves, start the battle. And if we were to go for Pheromone Burst, should be a pretty high chance these units survive. Yeah, we get all of these guys. We're going to send them in. So we've gained 4 so far. So ant spiders. They're sturdy. They've got a few hit points. They're not actually that great, but this fight is so much in our favor, but we do get to keep most of them. Don't take too many losses. So, yeah, 1 loss to those, 7 gained. Profit of 6, we can push through. This is now defended by our units. We can see here is, I'm guessing, the main hero of the Honey faction. Quite a big force, but game thinks they're significantly weaker than us, so let's see what they got. So they got Hive Defenders, tank units, they got Vibri, what's that? Is that their hero? Nectar Sorceresses, who can heal things, Bumble Engineers, Honey Mages, which I think are just weaker versions of Nectar Sorceresses, Wasp Snipers, long-ranged. Okay, we know who to use pheromones on. Wasp Soldiers, Stingerlings, extremely weak creatures, not too worried about those. Stinger Knights, those are actually pretty good. Need to be careful of those. Okay, so I think we'll send these two in. And I'm not too worried about unit composition. I think we mostly just want to kick this off. Okay, so we start the battle. This fight here towards the top, I'm not super confident in. I think we go for Pheromone Burst. Unleash the ants towards the back. We can see we really get a lot of those now. Give ourselves some time to recover. Our units go for some spells, do a nice amount of damage. We can now go for something else. So Chaos might actually be pretty useful for us. Mind Control. Steal some of the bees. That could be fun. I wouldn't mind doing that. Towards the top, perhaps. Yeah, let's see if we can grab these. Yep, so we steal a bunch of those. That's great. So we got ourselves the Hive Defenders and the Honey Guards. Joining our forces. Do we go for another Pheromone Burst? It would probably be fine. Make sure we bring all of these in. Get these involved so we can actually keep some. So most of our losses, well, we are taking a few losses to the Fire Ants. We're taking a few losses to the Ant Spiders, but we gain about as many as we lose. We can hopefully keep some of these Hive Defenders towards the end. Momentum swings in our favor. We've made a profit of Ant Spiders. Still taking a few losses to the Fire Ants. But good win in the end. 9,500 XP. We do level up. We can pick up some more Ant Spiders, not Ant Spiders, Fire Ants from Mastery if we want to. Learning can't go any further. Demonology could be interesting. Warding protects units against attacks from large enemy units and from spells. This seems like a good time to go for that. Then it's easy to break through. Have we kept the units? Yes, we did. Kept 8 Hive Defenders. They're not really that good, but it's good to have them. Okay, so we're turning the Wasps against them. Let's see if we can push through into their lands. This is a pretty weak defense. We should be able to breeze straight through this, I hope. Let's put some of the weaker units in the back. And the tanky ones out. Just start the battle, see how it goes. This should be pretty straightforward. If we go for Pheromone Blast, I think it's fine to do. So this time around we're summoning range units, which hopefully increases their chance of getting some kills. Not sure, but that is the whole point. So yeah, we've actually gained a few Weaver Ants. So I think different terrains give us different types of units, but yeah, we gain units for that. That's working really well. We can push through, hopefully move towards their town, go back to our town. What can we build next? So Worker Spire I don't think is that tempting. Palace of Colony, I think we just resist temptation. Move the caravans. We do have the option of deploying a catapult, which is, I guess, because there's a neutral town just there, but we're not going to go for that. We're going to end the turn. No sign of movement, but I'm pretty sure this is... yeah, it's Green's lands. Go for the killing blow. Where is their town? It must be around here somewhere. Okay, we're going to bring this hero up next. He does, of course, have the Nagas. Move the caravans. Go back to our town. Increase our gold production. And end the turn there. So Green does still have a hero on the move, but I think we have taken out the stronger one. There is a portal. But that's not what we want. Okay. Seem to have gone the wrong direction. If we go for this, it will reveal all of the roads on the map. I'm going to go for that. 2,500 gold. I'm just going to get reckless because I feel like we can probably get away with that. So we can see blue is right there. Green is right there. Will take us another turn to reach them, but that's fine. This should also tell us what blue has. So this is the Moth faction. Again, we seem to be in a good position to take that on. Okay. So that's most of our gold gone, but that's fine. This hero is going to come through. Is she strong enough to take on the scouts? She actually is. Ah. There's a much tougher fight there. So I need to be a little bit careful. We'll stay away for now. End the turn. So blue is still getting things done, but green obviously knows what's coming, stays very defensive. This particular hero doesn't really threaten our main too much. I'm gonna go for the experience, which we don't really need, but still, let's have it. Let's go for the sulfur mine as well. Pass the Nagas across. Grab this. This hero moves up. And yeah, let's go straight for the kill. So, they've got Stingers. 346 hit points, impenetrable. They take half damage from ranged attacks, hive defenders, ranged units towards the back, and here's their hive. So we don't actually necessarily need too many ranged units. If they do have that big tank there, ranged units might not help us too much. We'll go for the pheromones towards the back, hopefully grab ourselves a few kills, although again we are producing ranged units which will probably get killed pretty quickly, but we do break through. Let's just speed this up. Hopefully won't lose all of the newly gained Weaver Ants. We've gained one so far. We've lost 2 Nagas, gained 1 back. They go for a spell, but it doesn't really do too much damage, and we're able to overwhelm them pretty quickly. Perfect, 5,000 XP. Good amount of profit, no real terrible losses. We go for the final attack against their town. This is so much in our favor, we can just kick this off, go to double speed. We take a single loss here, that will be very disappointing. But it looks like they do have a hero towards the back, which we do defeat. Doesn't manage to get a kill, that's perfect. 500 XP, and we do level up. So I think... We're doing pretty well. I think we just go for Mastery. Keep bringing in the Fire Ants. Then this hero should be easy to take on. Let's just kill him off on the way. And that should be the end of green. Again, hopefully no chance of taking any losses here. Does go for a spell, but no kill. Okay, so green's been wiped out, so that's the end of the bees and the wasps, the end of the honey faction. We've taken their town too, we can actually produce some units if we want to. But I guess we'll look at the town screen at least. So there we go. Niranos, the town. Honey storage produces fortresses or nectar sorceresses, that's interesting. This is going to give us extra gold as well, let's just do it. Keep the momentum up, end the turn there. Blue, I think, is considering going aggressive, but it's probably not going to end well. We've got a lot of momentum going at this point. Going to move straight towards this. Not going to waste too much time with this, just going to grab things we can. Don't need to worry too much about the town, but I guess we should go back to it. So let's go for the Halls of Culture for the sake of producing the L8 Scout. So L8 Scout, 201 hit points, it flies, confuses opponents, retreats in order to survive, and brings Solenopsis Guard as bodyguards. Okay, that all seems fine. Let's end the turn there. So at this point, they probably see what's coming and they start going back. A new week has begun. Could get some more units if we want to. Let's skip to the outcome of this one. A few losses across the board, that kind of sucks, but it's probably fine. Hive Defender can now be blood warped into a Hornet Champion. So we are getting to see a good amount of the Hive faction too. Looks like we can't quite reach their town, but we're going to get as close as we can. Go back to this for the sake of being as efficient as possible, get that extra gold income, go back to this as well. Again, gold income's pretty good here. I don't think we need to go for any of this stuff. Hospital. Saves half of our dead units belonging to any faction that we don't have an infirmary for. That could help us. Let's just do it. Do we deploy a catapult? So if we deploy a catapult, spends 10 wood and 10 ore, lays siege, each turn the town's defenses will be reduced. When fully reduced, unable to produce gold or units. If it doesn't cost us movement points, I guess we just do it. End the turn there. Blue, I think, considers coming back to defend, but no, abandons the Moth Hive. And there we can see we've already damaged the defenses quite nicely there. Okay, this is pretty massively in our favour. Let's kick it off, and let's go for, as usual, the Pheromone Burst. We're back up to 50. Probably, if we're going to spawn the range units, don't want to spawn them too close, although this time it does spawn melee units, so let's just rush in. What do these things do? Lunar Oracles, they're range units. Pretty weak Moth units. Speed our way in there, grab some kills, get some extra units. And it's a pretty straightforward victory. Perfect. Okay, so let's chase down the big hero next. So in this case, we've got Dusk Protectors. They seem to have gone for the Moth route more so than the Butterfly route, but there are a few Butterfly units in there too. Yeah, I actually think the Moth and Butterfly faction is really cool, really well done. Let's go for Mind Control, and let's take some of their melee units. So these guys spawn pretty close to the Lunar Oracles. Pollen Maidens. They're also melee units. Let's steal some of those. They're going to get killed off pretty quickly, but that's fine. So Larvae moving in, not really doing too much. Casting some spells with our caster ants. Let's go for Pheromone Burst. Give ourselves some backup at the back if we can. Melee units do spawn in. Chase down their range units. Speed this up, because I'm pretty confident it'll work, although the game does think this is a bit more balanced than some of the previous fights. Need to be a little bit careful. And go for Pheromone Burst again. I think same thing again, let's send them towards the back. Let's make sure these all come in. Close down the range units. They've got a Stingerling just there who's... oh no, Reijetsu. 1,600 XP. Huge amount of damage. How on earth do we deal with that? I'm not really sure. Okay. Salt Blast doesn't really help us. Chaos doesn't really help us. This is actually a lot tougher than expected. That thing there is a monster, and wow, it just spawned a bunch of new units in. Okay, we can go for Pheromone Burst again. I think we probably need it. Gonna try and win this side of the field at least. Send all of these in. Not as easy as I thought. That thing there, I don't quite know how we deal with it. Things going on everywhere. That thing still has most of its hit points. I don't know where that came from, but it's producing new units. It appears we're winning the fight, as scary as that thing is. Seems that we're winning everywhere else. So, got a little bit arrogant there, but it looks like we will win. We do lose the Horror. We lose our stolen Pollen Maidens. Put ourselves some Velvet Ants from our spells. Lots of losses across the board, but at this point, we appear to have scared off even the big beast there. They all run off. And we do win. I could not tell what was going on there, but 12,000 XP, we can reshape 3 army ants into 3 ant prentices, which we've not seen before. They summon Solenopsis guards over time. Yeah, we will of course do that, but that is the end. That is our victory. So yeah, that was the Colony Alliance modded faction. If you haven't played Heroes Hour before and you'd like to try it, I will leave a link in the description to where you can buy it. And if you'd like to see more Heroes Hour, I will also leave a link to my playlist where you can find all of my previous Heroes Hour playthroughs. Thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.